Okay, so let's just imagine for a second that you own a highly successful brick and mortar store.
Right, the kind you've poured just massive amounts of capital into.
Exactly. I mean, you've got incredibly targeted digital ads, your window displays are flawless, you have this premium product inventory. It's perfect.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah. But now, picture a customer walking up to your front door at, say, 5:05 p.m. They're ready to spend money, but they find the door completely deadbolted.
Or, they walk in right at noon,
Yeah,
ask the front desk a question in Spanish, and your staff just kind of stares at them blankly.
completely unable to help.
Right, which is, honestly, the equivalent of locking your doors, pointing to the business across the street, and literally saying, please go give them your money instead.
Which sounds insane, right?
Uh,
But that is the core mission for our deep dive today. We are unpacking what's known as the language gap.
and it is happening everywhere.
It really is. We've got this fascinating stack of sources to pull from today. Everything from recent Vita market surveys and some academic papers on small business tech adoption to these really deep technical architecture breakdowns from Salesforce AI research.
Really good stuff in there.
Yeah, so we're going to explore why, assuming your prospects speak fluent English and, assuming they only want to interact between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., is basically the single most underestimated revenue leak for small and mid-sized businesses today.
It's massive. What's so fascinating here is that there's this huge disconnect in modern business strategy.
How so?
Well, companies will spend absolute fortunes optimizing their SEO, right?
Yeah.
Perfecting these complex digital marketing funnels, building this super polished social media presence.
Oh, yeah, the digital storefront has to be perfect.
Exactly. Yet they are completely blind to the fact that their business might be virtually invisible to half its market simply because they can't communicate efficiently over the phone.
So you optimize everything for that initial click, but you totally drop the ball the second that click actually turns into a phone call.
Precisely.
Let's dig into the true financial bleed here, because the numbers from that recent Vita survey, which, by the way, polled hundreds of small and mid-sized business owners, they're pretty sobering.
Very.
Fully 42% of those businesses estimate they are losing over $500 every single month simply due to missed customer calls.
Wow.
Right. I mean, we are talking about $6,000 a year at a bare minimum just evaporating.
And honestly, that $6,000 is likely a very, very conservative self-reported estimate.
You think it's higher?
Oh, absolutely. When you look at what those missed calls actually represent, the top applications for AI voice agents right now are inbound sales inquiries. That makes up about 31% of the use cases.
Okay, so actual new revenue calling in.
Right. And answering frequently asked questions, which sits at 20%. These aren't just, trivial little interactions.
No, I mean, these are high-intent buyers trying to give you money.
Exactly. Or they're existing customers trying to resolve an issue that might literally dictate whether they churn or stay. And they just go completely unattended because the human staff is busy on another line, or they're at lunch, or they're off the clock.
And we have to factor in the language barrier, too.
Oh, 100%.
Because U.S. Census Bureau data points out that over 67 million U.S. residents speak a language other than English at home.
That is a massive demographic to just ignore.
Right. If you are operating under this English-only assumption, you are artificially shrinking your total addressable market right out of the gate.
Yeah, you're literally cutting out millions of potential customers.
And when anyone, regardless of what language they speak, calls your business and hits a voicemail system, the outcome is usually negative anyway. Research from Bright Local and Invoca indicates that 62% of callers who reach a voicemail during business-adjacent hours won't even leave a message.
They just hang up.
Just hang up.
The modern consumer, they just do not have the patience for voicemail anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, they know the next Google search result is literally a tap away.
Yeah, why leave a message when I can just call the next plumber on the list?
Exactly. The moment that call goes unanswered, you're actively funding your competitor's growth.
Okay, so hearing those numbers, the immediate instinct for, a business owner is probably to just throw human labor at the problem.
Right. The traditional fit.
Yeah, you think, okay, I'm losing money on missed calls, I'm missing Spanish-speaking clients, I'll just go hire a bilingual receptionist to cover more ground.
Makes sense on the surface.
Right. But the Ringland AI report breaks down the economics of this traditional fix, and the math shows why this approach is just fundamentally broken for most small businesses.
The breakdown in that report is totally eye-opening. For 2026, the fully loaded cost of a single human receptionist, it ranges between $63,500 and $80,000 annually.
Wait, $80,000 for a receptionist?
Yeah, because business owners often make the mistake of only looking at the base salary, right? Which might sit around, say, 36 to 42,000.
Okay, that sounds more typical.
But they completely fail to account for the 30% benefits overhead. That includes health insurance, dental, vision, 401k matching, payroll taxes. It adds up fast.
Plus the recruitment costs, right? Because the data shows it takes roughly $4,700 to $7,000 just to recruit, hire, and train that one person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And administrative roles, they carry a notorious turnover rate, usually between 30 to 40% every single year.
Wow. So you are just constantly on this expensive treadmill of replacing staff who, let's face it, probably burn out from answering the exact same repetitive questions all day long.
And then, even if you manage to keep them, you have to look at what that $80,000 investment actually buys you in terms of time.
Right.
A full-time employee works about 2,000 hours a year, but a year has 8,760 hours in it.
Oh, wow. Put like that, it's a huge gap.
Right, by relying solely on a human receptionist, you are only covering your phones for less than 23% of the week.
That's nothing.
For the remaining 77% of the time, we're talking evenings, weekends, holidays, early mornings, your business is just unreachable. And if you want them to be bilingual, that usually commands another 10 to 20% salary premium.
And even then, they probably only speak one extra language.
Exactly.
Okay, I have to stop you there, though. I hear the math, and obviously it's super compelling on a spreadsheet.
Sure.
But I'm thinking about the actual customer experience here.
Always the biggest concern.
Right, because if I am calling a medical clinic because I have a complex health question or, I'm calling a law firm because I'm in trouble, I want human empathy.
Absolutely.
I want someone who can read my tone, someone who can build real rapport. How does deploying software to answer the phones not just turn into this cold, frustrating, robotic experience?
And that is the exact friction point most business owners hit. It's a completely valid concern. But the mistake is assuming this is a binary choice, that you either have a completely human-staffed front desk or a totally robotic one.
Like it has to be all or nothing.
Right. But the most successful organizations are moving to what the sources call the hybrid model. The objective isn't replacement, it's strategic allocation.
Okay, so basically letting the AI handle the repetitive noise so the humans can do what humans actually do best.
Precisely that. The AI takes over the 75 to 90% of those high-volume routine communications.
Like what?
It handles the appointment bookings, the basic FAQs, the hours of operation, directional inquiries, and it does all of that 24 hours a day in multiple languages.
Right, the stuff that doesn't really require deep human empathy anyway.
Exactly. By offloading that massive volume of repetitive work, your human receptionist is no longer this stressed-out switchboard operator. They are completely repositioned as a high-value specialist.
So they actually have the bandwidth to look a patient in the eye when they walk through the front door instead of, holding up a finger while juggling 3 flashing phone lines.
Yes. They can focus entirely on the complex, emotionally sensitive interactions, de-escalating upset clients, doing that VIP relationship building you were talking about.
That makes a lot of sense.
The Ringland report actually highlights a real-world medical practice that utilized this exact model. They reduced their front desk staff from 2 human receptionists down to 1, supplemented by an AI agent.
Okay, and what were the numbers on that?
They saved between $45,000 and $78,000 a year in fully loaded costs. They entirely eliminated their missed call revenue leakage, and they actually gained 247 multilingual coverage.
That's incredible. And I imagine the quality of care probably improved too because the human staff was finally unburdened.
Exactly. The human touch got better because they actually had time for it.
Well, that makes total economic sense.
Yeah.
But for anyone listening who has ever been trapped in a terrible automated phone tree, screaming the word representative at their dashboard while driving.
We've all been there.
Right. There is a very healthy dose of skepticism about how well this actually works in practice. So let's pull from that Salesforce AI research tutorial to understand the mechanics here, because modern multilingual AI operates entirely differently from those chatbots from even just 5 years ago.
Oh, it's night and day. We are looking at a completely different technological paradigm now. We are no longer dealing with rigid, keyword-based menu systems where you have to say exactly the right word.
Thank goodness.
Right. Modern AI language models use rapid detection. They identify the language a caller is speaking in just 2 to 3 seconds.
See, that is what blew my mind in the Salesforce technical breakdown, this concept they call natural code switching.
Yes, that is a huge leap forward.
Because in bilingual communities, it is incredibly common to start a sentence in English, throw in a Spanish phrase, and then finish in English.
Very common.
And a traditional system just breaks down entirely when that happens. It has no idea what to do. But the new AI doesn't even flinch. It follows along seamlessly, adapting in real time without forcing you to press 1 for English or 2 for Spanish.
And it possesses deep cultural intelligence and regional dialect mastery, too. It goes so far beyond just direct, literal translation.
Huh?
Well, the system can distinguish between Mexican Spanish, Argentinian Spanish, or Castilian Spanish. And it actually adjusts its vocabulary, its slang, and its overall tone to match the specific cultural expectations of the person on the other end of the line.
That's wild. But the technical hurdle with all of this has always been latency,
Yes.
right?
Latency is the killer.
Right, because if an AI has to translate, think about it, and then respond, you usually get that awful 5-second pause where you think the call just dropped.
Are you still there?
Exactly. But the Salesforce paper explains how these new systems achieve sub-second latency, clocking in around 755 milliseconds. They use what is called a cascaded streaming pipeline.
Right. And to understand why that is so revolutionary, you kind of have to look at the old model.
Okay, how did it used to work?
Historically, an AI system had to wait for you to completely finish your thought. It would take that chunk of audio, run a speech-to-text conversion, send the text block to a large language model to formulate a response, wait for the response, and then finally send it to a text-to-speech synthesizer.
Okay, so it was a very sequential start and stop process.
Exactly. Very clunky.
It reminds me of a UN simultaneous interpreter. A brilliant interpreter doesn't wait for the diplomat to finish an entire 5-minute speech, translate it in their head, and then recite it all back.
Right. They'd be there all day.
They are listening, translating, and speaking concurrently. And from what I understand, the AI uses a sentence buffer to do the exact same thing.
That's spot on.
While the caller is still talking, the AI is already processing the first half of the sentence, formulating the logical response, and queuing up the voice synthesizer. As soon as it detects a natural pause or a sentence-ending punctuation mark, it fires that completed thought back instantly.
All while its brain keeps working on the next incoming sentence.
It's incredible.
That concurrent processing is exactly what eliminates the awkward lag. But, the most crucial aspect of this technology isn't just that it talks back quickly.
What is it?
It's that it takes action.
Mhm.
It is an active workflow tool. Through API integrations, an AI voice agent can connect directly into your CRM or your calendaring software.
Oh, so it can actually do the work.
Exactly. It can look up an available time slot and schedule an appointment in about 3 to 5 seconds.
Wait, 3 to 5 seconds?
Yep.
Because if you watch a human receptionist do that exact same task, they have to put the caller on hold, toggle between like 3 different screens, find the calendar, verify the patient details, type it all in manually, confirm it. I mean, that takes 45 to 90 seconds.
And that's assuming the software doesn't freeze or they don't get distracted.
Right.
The AI is doing it instantly. It captures the lead, logs the interaction details perfectly in the CRM, and it can even trigger a follow-up marketing email or an SMS confirmation to the caller the literal moment the phone hangs up.
I mean, I am listening to all of this, and it sounds incredibly powerful. It solves the 77% downtime problem. It handles complex translations. It schedules instantly. So I have to ask the million-dollar question here.
Go for it.
Why isn't every local plumber, dental office, and law firm using this technology right this second? What is the actual barrier?
That is the big question. And the academic studies we looked at from the TCU Digital Repository, combined with that VITA survey data, they point to a massive psychological barrier.
Psychological.
Yeah. It essentially comes down to a confidence gap. 61% of small and mid-sized business owners report feeling not at all confident or only somewhat confident in their ability to integrate advanced technologies like AI voice agents.
So they are relying on their gut intuition rather than looking at the hard data.
Exactly. They tell themselves, my business is unique, my clients demand a human touch, they're going to hate talking to a machine. They just fear the complexity of the setup, and they fear alienating their customer base.
But the data tells a totally different story.
Oh, completely. Because when you look at the cohort of businesses that actually push past that fear and deploy the technology, the results are staggering. 97% of SMBs who integrate AI voice agents report a measurable increase in revenue.
97%. You rarely see a success metric that high in any business software adoption.
Almost never. And the real-world outcomes often completely defy our traditional assumptions about customer service.
Give me an example.
Well, take the major credit union detailed in the industry reports. They rolled out a multilingual AI to handle inquiries for incredibly complex financial products like mortgages.
Okay, mortgages. The natural assumption there is that a customer would absolutely demand a human to discuss something as stressful and nuanced as a home loan.
Right, that's what everyone thought. But the credit union discovered that their customer comprehension scores actually improved when they interacted with the AI.
Wait, really? The AI explained it better.
Yes, because the AI possesses infinite patience.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Right. If you ask a human loan officer to explain an amortization schedule 3 times in a row, you're going to hear the frustration in their voice.
They're going to sigh, they're going to talk down to you.
Exactly. But the AI will repeat a simple explanation from scratch in the caller's native language as many times as requested, without ever rushing them or making them feel foolish.
That is such a good point. And we see a similar revelation in the home services industry too, right? Plumbers, HVAC technicians, electricians.
Oh, absolutely.
Because those businesses thrive on emergency calls. If a homeowner has a pipe burst and there's water flooding their basement at 2:00 a.m., they do not care if they're speaking to an artificial intelligence.
Wow, at all.
They care that the phone was answered on the first ring, that they can explain their panic in their native language, and that a technician is actively being dispatched right then.
Exactly. For you listening to this right now, you really have to think about what this means for your specific market.
Yeah.
Because if your local competitors are paralyzed by the fear that their clients will hate talking to a robot, they're leaving the door wide open for you. While they are missing calls after 5 p.m., your clients could be happily booking appointments in their native language at 2:00 a.m.
So it's a massive competitive advantage.
Huge. Speed of response is fundamentally becoming a part of the product itself. In today's market, the quality of your actual service is only half the battle. The other half is how quickly and frictionlessly a customer can access that service.
Let's circle back to that human safety net, though, because, technology does fail, and customers do have highly unique, chaotic problems that just aren't going to fit into a clean CRM workflow.
Of course.
What actually happens when a caller gets genuinely angry or asks something completely outside the AI's training?
And that scenario is heavily accounted for through what we call intelligent escalation triggers. That's really the backbone of the whole hybrid model.
How does that work?
Well, the AI is not just passively transcribing text. It is actively monitoring the emotional state of the conversation.
Like it can tell how you're feeling.
Yes. It uses real-time sentiment analysis to detect frustration, anger, or confusion in the caller's tone or even their vocabulary.
So it basically knows when it's losing the room.
Exactly. And it also monitors for specific high-stakes topics, perhaps a medical emergency, a complex legal threat, or even just a request to speak to a manager. It can even scan caller IDs for your designated VIP clients.
Oh, so if your top client calls, they don't even get the AI.
Right. And the absolute second one of those triggers is activated, the AI seamlessly routes the call directly to a human staff member.
And does the human just start cold?
No, that's the best part. It passes along the full context of the conversation up to that point, so the human doesn't have to ask the caller to repeat themselves.
Hi, I see you're calling about your burst pipe.
Exactly. It completely mitigates the risk of a bad customer experience.
It creates a system where the 80% of routine, mundane traffic is handled flawlessly and instantly, and your actual human talent is reserved for the 20% that genuinely requires deep empathy, complex problem solving, and relationship management.
Every single call is answered. Language is no longer a barrier, and your payroll is being utilized for high-value tasks rather than basic data entry.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together as we wrap up. We started this deep dive by looking at that locked storefront analogy.
Right.
And the reality is that the language gap and those missed after-hours calls, they are massive, silent revenue leaks. They are draining small and mid-sized businesses of thousands of dollars every single month.
And we've established that relying purely on traditional human staffing is just not economically viable for solving this anymore. The overhead, the turnover, it makes it basically impossible to cover 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
But a multilingual AI voice agent offers this always-on, culturally intelligent solution that allows a small business to actually scale its communication both locally and globally.
Absolutely.
So, for you listening, the takeaway here is really simple. Do not let this revenue leak continue in your own business. If you are ready to actually fix this, your action item today is to contact Ed Becker. He's an AI, automation, and technology professional.
He knows his stuff.
He really does. Ed can walk you through exactly how this technology would integrate into your specific organizational workflow. He can help you navigate the setup, overcome that confidence gap we talked about,
Right.
and plug these revenue leaks permanently.
It's definitely worth having that conversation. And as you consider integrating this into your own operations, I just want to leave you with one final, broader thought to mull over.
What's that?
We have broken down how an AI can now instantly adapt to a customer's specific language, their regional dialect, and their cultural expectations within 3 seconds of them saying hello.
Yeah, 3 seconds.
If that is the new standard of service, how long until customers expect that exact same level of instant, personalized, and fluent understanding from every single brand they interact with?
Oh, wow. That is a fundamental shift in baseline
It
expectations.
really is.
Yeah.
The real question is, will your business be ready when they do? When they approach your digital storefront, will the door be wide open and will you be speaking their language?
It's such a vital question for anyone looking to grow their business in this landscape. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We will catch you on the next one.